Just under 5 minutes to go with a clean windshield, or as clear as it's going to get, Dawes.
Yeah, exactly. And now all cars are forced to be on track. So finding a clean place on the racetrack, forget it. This is the only shot you got.
And Wolf Hensler waited until they saw the Ferrari coming through the downhill. Then they sent him out, see if he can kind of use an opposite strategy. If he can't get out at the front, maybe I can wait and get a cleaner lap by going out at the back. Right now, Jamie Mello trying to recover the points.
Save.
Yeah, it's a good save there. It's going to be so subtle to see, but you saw a little bobble there. There you can see him really fighting the car coming off Big Bend.
Tires are cold right now. They've been sitting on pit lane, so the temperature, the pressure, maybe not what it needs to be, more the temperature than the pressure, though.
This team going for their 4th consecutive pole. They've had 3 in a row, and for this driver pairing, going for their 3rd win in 3 weeks. They won at Salt Lake City, of course, Miller Motorsports Park, then went over to Europe and won the recent round of the ALMS Championship down in the Algarve, so they're on a roll right now.
Pretty good lap right now if he doesn't get balked going down the downhill. That's one of the places where it really can hurt you. And look,
GTC car.
This could hurt him. Just kill this lap.
This is big.
Yep, at exactly the wrong place. Ooh. Right there at the apex of the downhill. Then the second Ferrari. Jamie Mello flashes by down the front straightaway. He'll come across the line. We'll look for his time.
Nothing.
No, a 5.9 to a 4.3. So Jamie Mello getting held up at exactly the wrong place. Patrick Long holding on to the pole right now, but it could change at any moment.
I think it's wetter, guys. I don't see the times improving with 3 minutes to go. The rain is teeming down right now. There's a lot more water on this racetrack. I don't see anyone improving on these times right now, Chris.
Yeah, Calvin, listening to the drivers on my scanner right now, pretty much everybody reporting back to their team that there's so much water out there. Hey, guys, they're calling in. They're just saying, you know, I think it's just too big of a risk right now to push any harder. We're going to potentially put ourselves in a bad position.
Well, this is a pretty clean lap that we're looking at. We'll know when he flashes by if he doesn't get held up. But I totally agree that we're standing water now. We've got puddle all the way around the racetrack. It's not really puddles. It's just there's so much surface water that there's no way that you're going to be able to get a great lap.
Well, and Chris is exactly right. You can go out and let's say that you're trying to push harder and harder and harder. Jamie Mello wants that pole back, but to throw the car off and damage it in search for the pole, that's silly.
It's not worth it, and he's really dancing around it. This is a clean lap. Let's see what he comes to line at. A 106.2, so nearly 2 seconds slower than his best and 2.5 seconds off the pole. They really need to abort this run and just keep it safe for tomorrow.
Here's one of the GTC cars off in the runoff down in turn 1. You know, the racetrack just has not got the speed in it to break those times. Those times that were set when the racetrack was still relatively dry. I mean, it was getting wet, but this is full wet.
Just under 2 minutes to go. Patrick Long holds down the point. Wolf Hensler in the 17 trying to find his way back. Jamie Mello as well in GTC. Jerome Bleakmolen. Then Andy Lally in the TRG Porsche. That is 1-2. Shane Lewis in the number 88 is 3rd in GTC, and it looks to me like Jamie Mello has slowed the car and said, no, enough.
You know, we've heard on the radios everybody saying bring him in. The 3 cars in now are on the way back.
When you look through timing and scoring and you look at the last lap versus the best lap time for these drivers, what you find is they're both, almost everybody down the board is about 2 seconds off from where they had been. This would be and will be, if he holds on to it for another 1 minute and 15 seconds, Patrick Long's 3rd ALMS pole, and you see the Ferraris heading into pit road.
I tell you what, there's no bigger satisfaction for a driver than to go out there in these abysmal conditions, Dorsey, and be the fastest, because, the car has to be right, the setup has to be right, the team has to do the job, but ultimately it's the driver dealing with conditions that you haven't seen. It's changing every lap, and it comes down to the driver.
You got to dig deep. You know, you got to really get down inside and pull a lap out, and it takes a lot. I mean, it really takes a lot out of you.
And, of course, the problem is, even though the BMWs got back out, Billy Oberlin will start 9th in GT. Joey Hand will start 13th in GT. As the rain came down, they couldn't improve. But we go back to Patrick Long. You're going to drive a race car around this track in the rain. You'd think that Porsche is the one you want, all that weight over the rear tires. Certainly seems to have worked for Patrick Long. Chris?
Yeah, high fives from the entire team down here. Pat Long getting a great pole position. How tough was it out there in these conditions?
I'll tell you, lime rock and the wet is certainly a combination that's pretty daunting. We just kept working hard in practice. We used every single lap, even though we were happy with our pace, to try options. We got this car so hooked up. We were really getting them in the acceleration zones. I think the rear engine of the 911 did me well today. We'll see how tomorrow is. It's supposed to be sunny, but we kept the mindset that they're going to qualify. They're going to qualify. We weren't sure if they were, but when they went and said, "Yep, we're qualifying," we were ready.